little fuck up. I like to talk about us going to the dungeon. Our family went there for the BBO 8 events that they had that night, which was, well, not the night, on Saturday and on Friday night. Let me start with that first. Friday night we actually got there, I'd say around about 11:30ish, something like that. We had to sign consent forms, you know, normal. Then we was also greeted at the door by some of our Dark Side family people. We hadn't been there, hadn't seen them in a while. So we go inside, you know, Sir, my sister Disaster, and myself, and we go in, we kind of look around and see what's going on. Sir goes and he chats with, you know, fellow lifestylers and whatnot. My sister and I are looking for a place to put our equipment, Sir's equipment. So what we find a place up back against the wall, where there's equipment too back there that we can also use if Sir desires for us to use it. So we get back there, we set our stuff up, and wait for Sir to decide on who's going to be first when it comes to our play. My sister Deserter is first, so he puts her up on this horse. I think it's called the Berkeley horse or something like that, but it's like a spanking horse where she straddles it and she kind of like he ties her legs up with these black belts. And not just her legs, her wrist and her ankles, and that's the support for her. So he kind of like pushes her like to see if she's gonna fall off or anything like that. But anyways, during that time, she's there, and Sir starts his play session with her with some paddles, the saber, a lot of the toys that Sir has in his case. That session went very well. Went very, very well. Every time it looked like she was about ready to slide off, or if she seemed to, or if it looked like she was, Sir was there to make sure that she wouldn't. You know, he would check to make sure that she was stable. So that was, it was really good. It was good to see Sir and my sister play together. You know, I don't get to see Sir play much, you know, when I'm also getting my behind or ass played with, you know. So next was me. I was put up on Andrea's cross, and that's always a good feeling, you know. So I got some of the same. It was a good night. We all had a good night. We went in with good energy, and you know, there were people there that we hadn't seen in a long time. A lot of the Dark Side family we hadn't seen in a while. So it was good to see all of us in that place all together again. We've seen some faces of some of the lifestylers that we had seen from last BBO, well, from BBO 7. Got to see a lot of different play and stuff like that. Well, I'm going to go ahead and go to our Saturday night. Saturday night was it started out very interesting because, you know, Saturday 17th, we had to make sure that we got there after 12 o'clock on the 17th. So the thing was that we got there around about 2. The place was closing at 2:30. So what happened is that no one knew exactly what it was that Sir had in mind that he wanted to do that evening, but we did know that there was going to be some play going on. So the people of BBO 8, a lot of them were getting ready to leave because their bus was going to be leaving at 2:30. Anyway, Sir, when we go in, he goes off as if he's going to, well, he goes and checks some more lifestylers. Little did we know that he was actually setting something up. So anyways, he comes over to my sister, tells her get herself ready and get up into this cage that's extended up, like, you know. So it's got chains all around and stuff like that. Well, my sister has a fantasy about, she had a fantasy about that, and that she was encircled with chains, and that there were 3 doms that were going to be tapping her, spanking her with switches. So this fantasy was going to be fulfilled this night by our Sir. So he had asked several of the dominants that were there, and a dame actually, and they agreed to participate. Some didn't, but most of them did. So what happened is that my sister and I had to find out what weight it was. It held up to over 600 pounds, so that was still a good thing because we had no weight restrictions, okay? So then, Sir explains to everybody what's going on here. You know, all the dominants get up. My sister's in the cage now. You know, I helped her get up in there, and there was another submissive who helped, you know, me help her get in, okay? So then, all these dominants are standing around, tapping, like twitching at my sister, oh God, while she's in this cage, like, and it was really something because they were in a circle, 10 of them with one dame. It was supposed to be 3 now, remember that, it was supposed to be 3, but it was 10, okay? And it looked so nice, you know, that to see all these dominants, you know, around my sister like that, switching at her, you know, tapping that ass, you know. First she was giggling, you know, and when she giggled, our sir would come over and do a rat-a-tat-tat with 2 doggone switches, and, you know, she'd be like, ooh, you know, because she felt his you know. So, a lot of them, though, when they did go to hit her with the switches, the chains kind of like did block it, but she did feel the blows, a lot of it. And it was just something to see how the unity of all of those dominants, you know, all together, fulfilling the fantasy of the submission, you know. And our sir played a big part in that, you know. To see his face with that big smile, you know, as this is going on, walking around, making sure that she's okay, you know, circling her to make sure she's okay. When it looked like nobody was actually getting sick in or it wasn't affecting her, we come in and let her know that, hey, okay, this is me. It was pretty cool, you know. So would like to let you guys know that. I know I'm going to do a part 2 because I'm really talking fast with this. So let me get off. I only have so many minutes. I will be back with part 2.